Hey guys, in today's video, we are taking two unique thrifted finds, breathing some new life into them and using them in a way that they normally were not intended for. I spotted both of these chairs at two different Goodwills. I was so thrilled when I saw them. I have a bit of a chair obsession, goes right along with my basket obsession. I am starting off these two chairs with a dose of my crud cutter. If you are new to my channel, this is my go-to for anything not sanded. I love using this to not only get the crud off, but to get the glossy finish off of everything, just to make painting that much easier. You want to go back and forth over every area that's going to be painted, followed by a wipe down with a damp cloth. Let it sit for 10 minutes and voila, you have a beautiful piece of furniture that there was no need for sanding and is ready to be painted. I love doing projects like this when it is beautiful and sunny outside. I don't do many of these types of projects during the winter. Yes, I will utilize my garage when needed, but it is nothing like going in the backyard with the sun shining, letting that heat just help dry everything and make the process even that more simpler. This little wooden chair I absolutely fell in love with. It says the Bombay Company on the bottom. I am just thrilled that I found it. The minute I saw it, I thought to myself, that would make an adorable plant stand. So that's what we're going to be turning this chair into. I'm giving it a good wipe down now that I have that seat off. I'm going to be going back and forth between the two chairs. So now I am doing this foldable cane chair. And I'm starting out with this Farmhouse White by Rust-Oleum. And I am just really getting in there. I am doing the entire chair, covering all that orangey yellow tone that this original chair has. The minute I saw it, I knew exactly where I wanted to put it in my home. This chair is getting a paint job with the same color paint that I recently DIY'd our fireplace with. I was planning on putting this right in our fireplace area. I absolutely love this color green. It's called Cypress Vine. And it is the perfect vintagey color green. So I thought, how fun would it be to coordinate that with our fireplace? Now that the first side of the chair that I sprayed is dry, I am flipping it over and doing the underside, getting all the nooks and crannies. That's the great thing about spray paint, is that yes, you will go through a can when you're trying to do a project like this, but it is well worth it because the time you would take to get in all the little nooks and crannies with the paint, it just definitely makes a quicker job and easier job using the spray paint. With this chair, I opted for the regular paint. This is the paint I had left over from our fireplace, so I knew I wanted to go ahead and use it. And when I purchased this chair, I had in mind that I was actually going to reupholster it, but I actually ended up doing something different. The sun helps so much in speeding up the process here of spraying and making it go so much faster, because when you're spraying and then when you have to do the backside of something and you're waiting for it to dry, it could take a super long time. And that's another advantage of using spray paint. It dries so much quicker. Now, this is like a treasure hunt for me. This is like the rocks that the kids get where they have to break it open and you don't know what's going to be inside. This is my rock. I am just taking a screwdriver and I'm getting these first layers of staples out of the seat here, and these were super easy to come out because this chair had been previously reupholstered. So the job that they did when they put these in, the staples were super easy to come out. Now it's the second layer that wasn't so easy, but I was curious to see what I was going to find under this first layer. It's definitely, like I said, like a treasure hunt. You never know what you're going to get. Now that I have this first layer removed, I am basically revealing what the original seat looked like, and it's definitely stained and worn, and I could see why they went ahead and reupholstered it to begin with. Now these staples, they were not budging. And so that I didn't have to stay there and mess around with it or hurt myself, I decided to just take a pair of scissors and cut along the cushion, the top of it. I found a space. Now at this point, I wasn't sure if I was going to be reupholstering it or not. So I wanted to see what was under this cushion and look at this beautiful wood. Such a fun find. This was a really good treasure hunt. I'm happy I broke this open. I'm now deciding that I am not going to be reupholstering this. I am going to be using that wood from under the chair. So I'm just taking the scissor and I'm just cutting off the rest of this original fabric, and I'm just going to keep this beautiful original wood to the chair. But I did want to cancel out a little bit of that orange tone in it. So I am using my Early American stain by Minwax. It's the same stain that we used on our mantle when we redid our fireplace. Now, the stain definitely appears a little bit darker on this piece of wood, just from the way the original wood is looking. It just gives it a darker appearance, but it was totally fine. It did not have to match exactly. I absolutely love the way it comes out, and it gives it such a warm and beautiful feeling. Waiting for that stain to dry, I'm going back to our cane chair here, and I'm going to take some of this Waverly Antique Wax. This is some of my favorite stuff to use, and this Dollar Tree paintbrush. Love these, use them in a million projects. It's super wiry, and I love it for things like this where you want a lot of detail, especially when you want a wood tone look. So I am just starting off by taking this antique wax, putting a small amount on the brush, kind of dabbing it on my paint towel, and just going in hard on this chair. I am pushing it in. I am making that paintbrush kind of fan out and just really getting into the wood. And when you first start doing this, you're going to go, what? This looks bananas. Like, how is this going to look right? But you have to trust the process. As with any thrift find and DIY, you have to trust the process. So I am just going in and lightly, at first I wasn't really sure how heavy I wanted to go with this. I wasn't sure how the paint and the chair itself was going to take it. But man, it winds up looking so good. So I just went in with more. I'm like, okay, I'm loving the way this is looking. Let's go harder. Let's put more and more layers. I'm definitely making kind of the seams of the chair where the pieces of wood meet a little bit darker, where a chair and wood would naturally kind of have like a darker appearance to it. So I'm really stippling it hard into these areas. And this wax, if you've never worked with it before, is super forgiving. You can go back and you can really get in there. It doesn't matter if it's dried a little bit. It really is easy to work with, and such a pleasure in trying to make your pieces just have that vintagey, antique, worn and used and lived in kind of look. And that's exactly what I wanted for this chair. And I absolutely love the way it came out. Now that I'm kind of happy with the overall look of it, I am just going back and I'm just kind of filling in any areas that I think can use a little more shading. I'm really pushing in hard. I kind of want a chippy wood look to just kind of add to that realistic wood feeling that I'm trying to get with this. And I'm really going in and pushing and just trying to make those lines really show. I have a little bit of blotching here, and I'm just showing you, and that was there for a while, and it's been sitting in the beaten sun, and it still is so easy to just spread out. So don't be afraid of this stuff. It really does a beautiful job on pretty much any surface that you put it onto. I'm showing you kind of those patches, and that's what I wanted. I wanted the chair to look distressed. I wanted it to look worn, and it definitely turns out that way. Now I'm moving on back to my little chair here, and this chair I did 2 coats of paint. So I let the first coat of paint dry really good, and the sun did great work of it. going in now with this second coat, and I wasn't sure if I wanted a little bit of that kind of wood tone to come through, but I decided that I wanted kind of a matte, pretty matte finish, and that's what I did with the 2 coats and allowing that to dry. And I'm just going back in here now. There was a screw that I noticed was pushed out a little bit, so I am just kind of getting that back in. This chair is definitely not going to be used for sitting on, and nor is this one. I am using both of these chairs in our home purely for decorative purposes. And I love doing that. I love taking items and using them in different ways. It's one of my biggest joys of going to the thrift store. And how stinking cute did this little chair come out? I mean, it does have those little holes there. I'm not really sure what those originally were for, but I knew that I was going to be putting a plant on there and other, decor items, so I wasn't worried about it. I knew that I wasn't going to be able to see it, but I think it just goes so cute here with the fireplace, matches it perfectly, looks totally custom. Love it. And I always wanted to put a chair in this little area here when you walk in my front door. We don't have a huge foyer, and I just love the look of a chair. I think it's welcoming, super inviting. Really happy that I decided to leave the seat of the chair white. And I just think that this looks so realistic. The wood tone of it, that antique wax does such a beautiful job. And this is exactly how I wanted this to turn out for this little area when you first walk into our home. So stinking cute. Now that we have both the chairs done, let's get to the super fun part and let's decorate them. So I am leaving this chair here, and right away I thought to myself, I have a beautiful green wreath that I think the tone of the green would just go perfectly with the tone of our new chair here. So I am going to grab that wreath and I'm going to see how it works out on this chair. Here it is. I've had this one for years. I have 2 of them actually. One that's on my accent wall that I have in my dining room. These bows I had picked up from the My Texas House line at Walmart not too long ago actually. I knew I was going to use them. I could use them in a million ways. I didn't have exactly in mind what I was going to do with them, but I knew that it would look absolutely beautiful on this wreath here tied around the chair. So I'm just taking some jute, tying that around the chair. Then I'm going to add this bow in. It's just super droopy and floppy, and I love the way it looks with this wreath. I am going to pop up on the screen a similar looking chair from World Market. It is for 2, but it is $499.99. So that means that one chair is $250. I found this chair at Goodwill for $9.99. I am one happy mama. Before I show you how I'm going to style this chair, I'm pointing out to you where I'm going to be doing an accent wall with this same green. I just really want to emphasize this green. I absolutely love it. And I think I moved this chair here to the left because I think when I have that wall kind of done and decorated and this chair up to it, it's just going to look beautiful here. So I made this book stack a long time ago. I've had it forever. I absolutely love it. I thought it would look super sweet over here on this little chair, but I knew that I wanted to put a plant on it. That was my original intent when I saw this, and here it is. I have this beautiful pothos plant. It is doing so beautifully in my Walmart pot, and I thought I would put it right on top of this book stack here, right on top of my little chair, and I just love how sweet and adorable it looks. I hope you loved today's video as much as I did making it. If you have any questions on anything I did today, please don't hesitate to leave a comment below and just say hello. I'd love to meet you. Thank you so much for being here. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
I've been losing sleep, what to do? Could somebody come and take me away? I've been in the deep without you, and I got it in my head night and day. But we are one step